we start introducing ourselves? Or start?
I guess we can.
All right. Well, first of all, we need a catchphrase.
That shouldn't be first.
That is always going to be first.
It shouldn't be first.
Too bad. Okay. Anyways, we are dumb comic book creators.
Respectfully, we definitely are. That's also the name of this podcast.
I know. That's why I said it. And respectfully, I am Eric Schwartz, and my partner is
Keegan Shiner.
Yeah, that's your time to speak up.
Okay.
As you can tell, we're dumb comic book creators, as we don't even agree on an intro.
We're dumb about making comics.
Yes, we definitely are. But we can go through and start talking about certain things. And for today, I have an updated script for my comic that I'm creating. It is much more clean and much better in a way that I could.
Did you name this comic yet?
I have not.
Okay.
Because what I want to name it is named it after the villain and not the main character, because the villain is probably like my favorite part about this.
Well, what's the villain's name?
The villain's name is the Dealmaker.
Well, then that could be the name of your script.
But yeah, I think I could name it that, but I think it's too much away.
Like I said, working title. It could be a working title.
Okay, my working title is the Dealmaker then.
So 2 weeks ago, where were you? We went through the scripts.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody ever listens to that podcast, episode 2.
It was a bad episode.
It's long. It's a long episode.
Yeah.
It's not a bad episode.
It's not a bad episode, but my script was so bad.
It's long. Your script was it was a first-timer script, so there was just a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So I've gone through since followed the instructions much more that how you're supposed to present them, add a lot more detail, so the image is not just what's in my head, but it's on paper. So the illustrator can eventually be like, "Oh, I get what he's saying," and they can go through and go from there. And if they have any questions, it'll be much easier for me to clear up then, instead of spending the entire time discussing it.
Yeah, it's more descriptive for sure. I can tell that it's a lot longer of a script too.
Yeah.
You've done a good job going panel by panel, and now you've added the page numbers with how many panels on each page, which is really good. One thing that you've not changed yet is like you're still doing panel 1 through 1 billion. Each page should be panel 1 through 4, and then page 2 starts at 1 again.
Actually, I could fix easily. I'll go through and start fixing it. I can fix that.
Yeah, that's
really, really quickly.
Just a formatting error. Yeah, you have some spelling errors too when I was going through, but that's just because when you're in the flow, you don't need to fix spelling,
I'm in the Finding Forrester mindset, which is the first draft that you write with your heart, the second draft you write with your brain. So this is me just trying to get everything just down, and then I can fix it later in my second draft, third draft, or however many it takes.
I see. Now, your script didn't end. What the heck happened?
So I am deciding between making this a one-off, in which case it will have to be longer and it'll have a definitive ending, or trying to turn this into an ongoing series.
And they call that a one-shot, right?
One-shot, yeah.
Where it's one comic and it wraps up at the end, and that's it. That's the whole comic, right?
Yep.
There's not supposed to be a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And how many pages do you think you're going to do?
So my goal is, if it's a one-shot, to have more than 20. If it's going to be an ongoing series, it'll just be 20.
22. I think the standard Marvel DC is 22.
Yes. 22.
For each issue.
Mm-hmm.
And those come out once a month, right?
Yes. Once a month, unless there's something special happens, they might do more than one. For example, Walking Dead, I know did a Christmas special followed by their normal issue, so they had twice a month, but that's very rare. Japanese manga is once a week, but they also don't color in their stuff, so it's a lot different.
And there's no backgrounds,
No, actually, no, they do have backgrounds.
like extensively.
Yeah,
I
actually,
think
they
there's
do.
there's less of a background in my
So
experience.
as you can see, like in this one right here, which
Well,
is
hold
the
on, let me
comic I'll be
stop
talking about
sharing.
later. If you see the comic that I'm going to be talking about later, this has a good background. So they have backgrounds. It's just that it's a lot. Um, they also have stuff like this though too, which is just very plain.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So it depends on the specific issue. So they'll
But in
either have
American
backgrounds.
comics, pretty much every panel has a background.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I
It
was
is
saying.
like this one, which is a pretty big deal. They have a background there, stuff like that.
Okay. I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah, so it depends. So that's just good talk. So
Agree to
the comic I was
disagree.
referring to, agree, disagree, whatever. I'm right.
I'm just saying there's less backgrounds.
I didn't say you're wrong. You should feel bad for being wrong.
Okay.
Kicking your bad, your opinion's bad. You should feel sad.
You're the expert. I'm wrong, and you're correct. I do feel bad.
Yeah, it's all right. I forgive you. I'm a good guy like that.
Okay. Good. I needed your forgiveness.
You're welcome.
Let's talk more about your script. Why don't we go panel by panel?
Fine, let's do that.
No, we don't need to. So this is panel 2 is still basically 2 panels in the description, only because I think you're showing Hank on the outskirts of the parking lot, and then there's a lot with this cup. The cup will be seen on the ground quite prominently. But it's impossible for me to picture this panel with Hank and all this stuff, but then also the cup is in the foreground. So
yeah,
I think you just need, yeah, you need one panel where Hank has the cup and he's like tossing it. And the next panel is of the cup on the ground with him in the background. And then panel 3, which you have here, is the same picture, but the cup is no longer on the ground. And then panel 4 is flipping it around, and you see that Hank's holding the cup again, you know?
Yeah.
It's just really, and that's what I'm saying, like these comic scripts, you really have to get detailed about each action getting its own panel. Because if you gave this to a comic artist, they would be frustrated with trying to show Hank, the police station, the parking lot, and the cup on the ground all in one panel, unless it was like a one-page splash, you know?
Yeah.
Where you have like a really large panel, but this is a 4-panel page, so I don't know if you'd have that much room.
I could adjust the number of panels, and it's if need be.
Yeah, so just one more panel with Hank tossing the cup.
Yeah.
In between, in between, well, panel 1, and then panel 2 is Hank tossing it. Panel 3 is the cup on the ground. Panel 4 is what you have for panel 3 here, which is that the cup, it's the same shot from the ground, but the cup's not there anymore. Yeah, and then keep going. So yeah, when you go through this again, just double check that all your action is separated out the way it needs to be.
Yep.
Another way, so I've been working on a comic called Death Maze, and I've been experimenting with that as the writer, drawing out the comic, drawing out each frame, and just drawing it with like my little doodle, like literal doodles, like stick figures. But what it does in my brain is it gives me like that outline of like what I'm going to put in each panel when I'm writing it out, even though I can't draw very well, and like nobody else would maybe be able to understand what I've drawn in my sketch book. It does help with pacing it for the comic artist to figure out. And then also when I give that to an artist, one of my scripts for Death Maze, I'm like, here, draw this, and if they give me any crap about it, I can say, nope, I know that this can be on one page because I've already drawn it. I've already sketched it out, and I've even given a sketch from my sketchbook to an artist to like show him what the layout I was thinking of. So that could help you out too if you just wanted to. And honestly, that makes writing a lot faster too. Just because you didn't quite get through the whole script here. So if you wanted to finish it out, and without
a lot of it is just simply that like I don't know exactly how I'm ending it, and I haven't decided yet. So like that's also slowed me down a fair amount too.
Well, I'm saying that could help you without committing to writing out each panel. That could help you figure out an ending and sort of outlining panel by panel. So actually on Amazon, and we're not getting a cut for this, but I did go on Amazon and I found this, I think it's for kids, but it's called the Blank Comic Book Notebook. And this is the multi-template edition, which means each page has a different template for blank panels. Mm-hmm. And I think it's for kids, again, like to just kind of color and make their own comics. And some of the pages have like way too many panels, like almost like manga, right? Mm-hmm. But you can see here that I have made really crappy and rough sketches of my Death Maze comic. See, I was showing you the calming room earlier. That's it. The original version with the rainbow and everything. And sometimes I don't even draw these in order in the book, like because I skip around to find the panels that I like. So what I think is useful about this as a writer is that, again, going panel by panel, now I know what to write in each panel when I get down to writing up the script, and I can just refer back to my outline and describe each panel. And I don't have to like think about how the page is going to be laid out. I can just write it out based on how I've already laid it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that something that might be interesting for you to try?
I may try that just because I cannot draw at all. That's why I'm scared to do it that way. But I understand the way you're thinking that, hey, if I do it this way, it's I can show my way of how I'm doing it.
I mean, you can see that I can't draw at all, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
In fact, I can't even really letter. I've just been like practicing that stuff too. So I think if you can do stick figures and you can like imagine a character and do a stick figure and figure out how to like carry that stick figure from one panel to another, then this might be a worthwhile way to do this if you're a writer. Even if you're an artist too. We keep mentioning these things as writers who can't do art, but I think some of this still applies for artists. So let's talk a little more about your scripts. What are you going to do next?
So I'm going to not separate out each action just yet, so I think that's going to be fine for a second run through. Where I plan on taking this is the main character is going to make a deal, and he's going to go back to after passing out at the bar, he's going to go right to work. And in the first couple panels, you know how he threw the cup and it goes right back in his hands? This time he's going to throw a cup again, and it's going to sit on the ground. Okay. And that's going to freak him out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's a good callback to the part of the script that we actually talked about this week.
Yeah. So that's what I had in mind from the beginning of like where like the thing happens, where he goes back, and then eventually I'll have him do a flashback to him making a deal with the Dealmaker. From there, he'll go and decide what he wants to do. Like, is he going to step up to the plate and realize the police are required now? What do I do about that?
Yeah.
Or be coward and try to figure out how to fix the problem because he actually liked life a lot. Life was a lot better when he didn't have to do any work.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, and so when are you going to finish?
I don't know. I was planning on being much more done yesterday, but to be honest, life got in my way.
Okay, so all right, good. So for the next podcast, then I know that we would be doing 2 you podcasts in a row, but I think for the sake of finishing the script, I think we should keep your hands on the fire.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the right way of saying that.
While I'm on a roll, don't stop the ball, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, with your hands.
Yeah.
Because you're typing with your hands, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Scary stuff, scary stuff, scary stuff, ding. Scary stuff, scary stuff, scary stuff, ding. Scary stuff, scary stuff, scary stuff, lunch.
Okay. Sounds good. So then next week, when you have a finished script, we're going to start looking for artists, I think.
Yes.
Have you looked for artists at all yet?
Not at all yet, because I want to get my stuff done. I want to get through part A before going to part B. I'm not going to put the cart in front of the horse, so to speak.
Okay, good idea. Well, this week, why don't you get on Reddit, get into the comic book collabs group, get on Facebook, get into the Connecting Writers with Artists group, and start checking out digitalwebbing.com and figure out what other writers are posting when they're asking for artists to work with them on their project, and just do a little bit of legwork, separate from writing, just to get yourself into the mind space of you're going to have to contact somebody soon to actually work on your project. So how are other people doing that, and how can you kind of copy successful uses of that? Because there's a lot of people who still, to this week even, several writers on there are asking for free help from artists, and you can get somebody, but it's going to be a strained relationship, I think.
Yeah, you can't expect them. If somebody's working for free, you can't expect A, brilliant work, or B, to do them in a timely manner because they're volunteering for it. I mean,
well, what if I said this, Eric? What if I said to you, if we make any money, you can have the money?
That's still a big ask.
How am I? You should say, how am I going to make money?
Okay, how am I going to make money?
No, how am I going to make money? If I said to you, you get all the money if we make money on this, then you should say to me, how are you going to make money? In other words,
going to make money?
I don't know. I have no idea how to make money. That's why I can't pay you, because I have no money. If you're asking somebody to work on your project for future compensation based on sales, chances are they're going to still say no because you have no track record of making sales, or you would be able to pay them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you were an established writer and you were banking on big bucks later, if you were Stephen King,
you would still be paying up front.
Yeah,
if you were established. Yeah.
No, so this is a note that every single artist will probably say. They don't want to get paid in exposure. They want to get paid in food and money. Mostly money.
Only money, really.
Only money, really.
Yeah.
Did you read any new comics this week?
I sure did.
Question mark.
I read a graphic novel.
Uh-huh.
I think it's an older one, actually. And it's called Pyongyang, A Journey in North Korea. And it's by Guy Delisle. I think he's a pretty famous web comic, or I don't know exactly if it's web comics, but Drawn and Quarterly Books published this, and I know he has a bunch of other books, and he's a very successful graphic novelist. But he's basically a Canadian. He went into North Korea as an animator and to finish an animation project in North Korea with a North Korean-based animation company. So this is basically his sketchbook while he was there that he's converted into a graphic novel. Yeah. Have you read this one?
I have not.
Okay.
I have to, though.
So yeah, like I said, the story is he goes into Pyongyang, and it's kind of a there and back again story. He shares the various daily life, and he shares like little trips that they go on while they're there. His frustrations with living within a dictatorship as a Westerner, and sort of the tensions that he can observe from the people that live there. The art is all black and white, and it's some of the sketches are actual drawings he made while he was there, I think, of places that are there. So, and these are really interesting because you can't take pictures in North Korea of things that they don't want you to take pictures of. So this book is really showing things that you can't usually see in North Korea, and in that way, so there's kind of realistic sketches, but then there's also most of the book is done in sort of a cartoonish kind of look. Yeah, but the art is really solid. You never kind of question where anything is, and the characters are really defined characters. So the characters are pretty cartoony, but the locations can be very realistic looking because they were like basically, I think, sketches he made of actual environments.
Is it autobiographical or semi-autobiographical?
Auto. Yeah. What's semi-autobiographical?
Like some of it's like real, some of it's not.
Oh no, this one's completely autobiographical. Yeah. There's no mystical energy or Power Rangers or anything.
He has to at one point start matrixing, like standing up like legs, and like whoa.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, that'd be cool if he did though.
So there's no color in this. It's black and white. It's grayscale, which means that they've shaded it. The lettering is hand lettered, and I forget, but I don't think there's anything really interesting about the lettering. Really, I think it's just pretty standard lettering. Other than he did it all himself. Like clearly, it's his handwriting. Yeah, and then there's no colors. So that just leaves that je ne sais quoi. Did I say that right?
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, which is the fact that you can see things that are in North Korea that pictures can't take. And there's even a section of this book where he goes on a walk through a neighborhood that he's not supposed to walk through, kind of later on in his stay. And they confiscate his camera and the film that's in the camera because they say that he took pictures of the garbage, which is a strange thing to get mad about. But he didn't take any pictures, so they gave the camera back. But in the meantime, he's drawn things that he saw on that walk that he wasn't supposed to see, and wasn't in the curated, because everything in North Korea, if you're a visitor, is curated for you to see, so that you can't see the actual problems that are happening in the country. So So yeah, that really keeps you interested, is seeing things that they don't want you to see, you know. And also him describing things that they do want you to see is really interesting too, because they're just as weird. So yeah, definitely check it out.
That's self-contained, or is it like more than one book?
Self-contained, yeah. But he has other books too, in a similar light. I know I picked up another book by him.
Okay, so on a scale of dog shit combined with horse shit combined with feces of a turtle, bottom parts, all the way up to angels in the sky creating glitter for unicorns. How would you rank it?
I would give this a solid. Well, I want to give it the angels in the sky making glitter, but I feel like nothing's perfect. So it must be sort of like the construction workers making diamond gates for St. Peter as an upgrade, um, sipping on,
Mojitos.
mojitos, yeah, in the break room. So
So good, but not perfect, but nothing's perfect.
nothing's perfect, yeah.
So like the best you can get, period, because nothing's perfect.
Yeah, I think so, because yeah, it's just really a good book.
Okay, I'll check it out.
What'd you read this week, Eric?
I read Spy X Family. Okay. It is an ongoing manga series by Tetsuya Endo. I was the one that I kind of referred to earlier. I was discussing backgrounds. So the plot of this book is the main character is a spy for a country called Westerland, and he is an Isuro, and his job is his current mission is that he has to create a family and get this daughter into or child into a prestigious school. But to get into this prestigious school is super hard. So you have to actually have the appearance of a family and a girl. And so the girl is adopted because he doesn't have any kids. The wife is a girl he picks up that she says yes to being his pretend wife because unbeknownst to him, she's the number one assassin in the country. And the daughter is also a telepath. So like they're trying to keep their secrets, but the daughter knows what's happening because she can read everyone's mind. So she's trying to make sure that the facade still keeps on going because this way they are, like, because she was in an orphanage before this and she doesn't like this, and she genuinely likes the characters. So the characters, even though they're like, it's just a mission, we don't like each other, genuinely do care about each other too. So it's a really good story with interesting, good characters. And so the art is actually really well done. That's actually what I like about it. It's not the best art I've ever seen, but like here's the art. It's done anime style, so like things tend to be over exaggerated. They tend to have stuff like that too. Backgrounds, if they're important, will be in there. For example, backgrounds.
Sometimes backgrounds, sometimes no backgrounds.
You mean always a background? If you look further down, see, that's a background.
There's no background.
Right there. See those dots? Dot, dot, dot. 4 dots, background.
That's
Boom,
not, no, that's an expression.
Background expression.
No, there's no wall behind her. There's nothing behind her.
That's why it's the sky. You can clearly see it's the sky. Sky.
There would be no sky. That's the ground.
Sky.
Okay.
Anyways. So while he still has his main mission of getting her to the top, getting her to school, getting her all the way to the number 1 rank, like, so this way he can meet with all the highest ups of this enemy country, so he can talk to them and maintain the peace. So his ultimate goal is there are people that want a war between his country and the country he's spying at, and he wants to prevent that at all costs. And the best way they discovered to do this would be to get this girl, get him to the top of this, get her to the top of the class, because once you're to the top of the class, they automatically get invited to meet up with every single higher up at the every single official, like the president, all that stuff of that country automatically, because that's how prestigious the school is. And from there, he could use that as leverage to create everlasting peace between the two countries.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done with the story when I asked about the art.
No, I was just trying to. I was catching up with it. That's my bad. Yeah.
So how's the art? It's good.
Yeah, the art is good. I really like it.
Let's move on. Is there color?
No, for the most part, there's not. The only time there's color is in the first like 2 pages, and those are bonus like stuff just to kind of give you an introduction to everyone. So like the one that's fully in color right here,
Yeah.
it shows like the fact that she's an assassin, he's a spy, and the daughter's a telepath.
Okay. What about the lettering?
Lettering is done good, is really well done because it actually does change depending on their emotions. So for example,
So it's expressive. Yeah.
It's expressive. Like when they're upset or he's excited, he screams.
Okay.
Because that too. When they're calm, like it will actually not even have a word bubble. So like she at one point is going there.
Okay.
And next done when nothing what's over there. But like when they do, it's just someone care, it's just a bubble, which is really well done. So I like that because that doesn't always happen. A lot of times it doesn't happen, especially in manga.
Okay.
And this time it's there, and it makes a big difference.
Oh, great. So that certain, I don't know what.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
I think it's really there because this guy has been able to take a very simple premise and go super far well with it because the characters are all well defined and have strong and actually I can tell you not just based on the appearance but like what someone would say. I can tell you which character was which. And like each character has like their own motivation. I understand why they're trying to do it. So
that's important too. Each character having a motivation.
Yeah, and so like you would think that somebody would go down the wayside because like usually like for example a lot of times there's one character who's just like there's like yeah, and that doesn't happen really, which is a big deal.
Okay.
Like even minor characters, for example, have strong personalities. So like her teacher, for example, has a good strong personality who's all about elegance, who like will scream out in joy whenever he sees elegance.
Oh, great. Cool. So on a scale between somebody setting $100,000 on fire in a trash can and those coins that Scrooge McDuck swims through, but warmed up so that you could have a hot tub of those. Where do you rate this comic?
Like you, I don't find anything perfect, but I would find this as the closest thing. So let's make the money be ice cold, and you might get a bloody nose if you swim too fast. So
it's like refreshing, but
it's refreshing. It's really good, and in the end, you think you definitely got your money's worth, but it might come with some pain.
Okay. Plus, diving into money is going to hurt.
Yeah, I don't know how. I was kind of impressed that he just dived into money. I mean, like, if you ever try to dive into sand, it doesn't work.
He was a tough duck, that's for sure. Yeah. He was a very tough duck.
He was a Scrooge McDuck.
So next week we got our work cut out for us. We're going to start going through artists for your scripts, and we'll come back with some more stuff that we've read. And I think this has been our podcast.
Still need a catchphrase.
No, just say goodbye.
Catchphrase, goodbye.
Oh my God. No, seriously, do say goodbye. We do need a cat. Fine, if I admit it, we can just go.
Goodbye.
What
do we need though?
We need a catchphrase.
There it is. Goodbye.